Senator Warnock, welcome.
Thank you so very much. Good to follow my colleague from Alabama. If you're not born in Georgia, I guess Alabama will do. But thank you so much, Chairwoman Stabenow, for holding this hearing on a topic that's important to all of us. I'm proud to say that Georgia is the #1 forestry state in the nation, providing direct and downstream jobs to over 141,000 Georgians and others across the nation. Georgia is home to over 22 million acres of privately owned forest land, generating an annual economic impact of $36.5 billion. This industry is an economic driver for the rural communities throughout Georgia. Georgia, on the other hand, is also a state of incredible growth. Our population is currently over 10.7 million people, representing an 11% population increase in the last decade. And much of this change is driven by growth in and around the metro Atlanta area. Sometimes in my travels and in politics, I hear folks talking about the rural-urban divide in Georgia. But I think that there are plenty of opportunities to increase economic connections between Atlanta, metro Atlanta, and the rural parts of our state, and to do so in a way that centers climate-smart growth, that creates jobs and opportunities while being kind to our planet. Mr. Harris, you have a long history of working on forestry issues in Georgia. How can population growth in a city like Atlanta actually provide economic opportunities for rural communities in Georgia who rely on timber production?
Thank you, Senator. I think that the most at Jamestown, I think one of the most exciting things that we've seen is this mass timber awakening, if you will. And we're very excited about the opportunity to tie our commercial real estate business together with our timberland business. It just makes sense. Mass timber, obviously, if used more in construction, would help a lot of things that we're talking about today. But right now, the industry is emerging. And so if we wanted to build mass timber buildings in Atlanta, Savannah, Brunswick, we would probably have to source that timber and that timber production from out of state in the case of Georgia. And I think that's the case for many states. We do not have a lot of mass timber manufacturing plants. We have a lot of sawmills, but we don't have the plants that put together the mass timber panels. So if we believe that using wood is good and it's a great solution for urban housing and construction and commercial spaces as well, and that starts to take hold, that will likely lead to manufacturing plants that are more local. And I think that benefits all states really, because it could really be put up anywhere. But in particular, I think that urban-rural interface between building in more urban environments and the use of mass timber and wood would benefit Atlantans in particular greatly.
Mm-hmm. So the growth in Atlanta is accompanied by an emphasis on sustainable development and green materials. I think that's something all of us have to be concerned about. Is Georgia's forestry sector prepared to meet the increasing demand for climate smart products? And if not, how can Congress be helpful?
I think Georgia is absolutely prepared and ready to take this challenge on. As a Georgian and just in a forester, just in general, I think all states are prepared to take on this challenge. We do amazing things with our forests, which is basically providing 90% of what the U.S. needs as far as wood products and forest products that people use every day. We do that very well, and we're extremely well positioned to leverage off of that to building a green economy. I think we're right in the forefront of that. And so states that are heavily forested, like Georgia, are ready, willing, and able to contribute to positive environmental impacts. And we're quite proud of that. And we honestly would love to talk more about that and share more about that. And I think Congress can help with that, with research and study. I think that's the one thing that's lacking right now. So things like the FIA, the Forest Inventory Act, where we're measuring are growing sustainably would be a big thing for us, and Congress could do. So I think investments into research and study and adding credibility to our sector would greatly benefit.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Harris, and I appreciate your work in Georgia's forestry sector. This challenge around climate change is a challenge, but it also creates economic opportunities for our forestry sector if we make smart investments, and I think it helps Georgians both in the rural Georgia and in our urban centers. And I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you today.